Okay, so today we're going to talk about Easton X27s versus Superdrive 27s. We're going to do a whole bow build, and this is the very first video of the arrow build. So what I want to talk about is nodes and torque tuning and getting the two to kind of marry up to decide on how short or long you should cut your arrows. So for me personally, I have a 27.5-inch draw length, and historically I have cut my arrows to 25.5 inches, generally speaking, using a blade or a drop away. I like to cut and leave about half an inch to an inch in front of the blade, usually in most times. Now when it comes to aluminum, it's a very heavy arrow, it's very stiff, so it's usually better to have it a little longer anyway. I'm going to build these with the 200 grain point just to start. I don't know where I'm going to end up. I'm going to play with some 225s, 175, maybe even 150, depending on what I like out of the setup. I just don't want these to fly too slow, but they are very forgiving if you make a mistake. So I'm going to test that and see, as I've never shot aluminum. So what I've done here, I have this X here in the middle, and I have these two lines, and that's where I found my node range. And essentially, I'm going to use torque tuning where I have my blade generally for torque tuning, and I'm going to start with the longest arrow length possible at this beginning line. And then if I find I need to cut it down based upon where the node is, or if I need to move the rest back for torque tuning, it'll be fine. So I have the rest as far forward as I think I will need it for torque tuning, and then I have the blade tips on this line. So either I will shorten the arrow from here or move the rest back from this initial position. And it shouldn't move back more than an inch, I don't think. The reason why I know that is because I shot a shorter arrow, much shorter arrow, with the torque tune position almost 3/4 of an inch back, and it was just terrible opposite torque impacts. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to find the node, and then we're going to talk about how I have this set up as I just described, and then we're going to go ahead and cut them, build them, put some tack wraps on, put some tack vanes on, cut the wraps, and test them, and kind of get an idea of what a forgiving setup should be. And also with nocks, these bushings come installed. I have been running the Gold Tip Mini HD pin nock. I love that nock. I think I'm going to go shoot the Biter 19/200 nock. I've shot that nock a ton. I'm probably going to use those in these arrows. And I may, in between this arrow build, might have to change my center serving out to something slightly thicker to accommodate, as this size fits the Mini HD pin nock perfect. So, and for reference, center serving size, I'm looking for 109 thousandths when you clamp a pair of dial calipers on here for the Mini HD pin nock. When it comes to biter nocks, generally speaking, the number 2 groove nock, it's going to be about a 113 that you're looking for. And I really like to get as close as I can to those numbers. Worst case, 112 to 114, or 108 to 110 when it comes to the Mini HD pin nocks. So I'm going to go over here and show you how to find the node. So there's a couple of really good videos that I've watched on nodes. Jake Kaminsky has a really good video about nodes, as well as George Riles. Now, using what they've talked about, I'm going to demonstrate George's technique using a flat surface. This machine right here, I'm just going to use it to demo. This is like a spine compression thing. It's hit or miss. I would just use a bow press personally. However, these guys have a really cool product. I think it is really cool. It's a little overkill, but it is cool. Anyway, as far as Jake's video, I really think Jake hits on the concepts with point weight really well. So adding point weight shifts the node, removing point weight shifts the node. I think the more point weight you add, the further back the node gets. I could be completely wrong on that. I'm just relying on memory right now. But the point is, you're going to get a point, put it in the end of a fully cut arrow, and I'm going to turn it over so you don't see it. Grab the knock end and pinch it like this, and then let it rest on an edge. I like just this edge. We'll start from the front, and you just pull the arrow down and let it pluck out of your fingers slowly. So like a surprise release, you know, you're not going to just let go of it. You're going to keep it pinched, slowly relax your fingers, and let it come out of your hand. That's a great analogy. So we're going to start up here. Okay, so the whole arrow just hopped off of this thing. We're going to move down. Okay. Cool. Ah. It's not hopping off anymore. I'm going to keep moving. Still not hopping. Kind of buzzed a bit. It's hopping a bit more. Hopping a bit more. Hopping a ton. Hopping a ton. So hopping, hopping, jumping off, jumping, still jumping. Make sure the point is in. Not as bad, not as bad, not as bad, not bad at all. Really good, amazing. Not bad, not bad, 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 terrible. So right in there, that's where I got my marks. So let's see what this X does. Yeah, that X is perfect. Like I would spend a solid 5 minutes finding where the X is. It does not hop there with the 200 gram point. And just make sure your point's all the way in when you do this. Okay, so now, yeah, that's really good. So I do want to check this line though, just in case if that is where it ends up torque tuning. It jumps. Okay, I'm going to move forward. Still jumps. Okay, I really want it. I really want it on that X. I really want it on that X. So, you might have to sacrifice one arrow in your dozen just to get the node right. Is it worth it? I have no idea. I've never done the node thing. But I think it's definitely, you can see what it does. I think it's definitely worth a try. Same thing with torque tuning. So like any type of tuning method where you see the results, I think it makes a difference. So torque tuning especially. So yeah, let's see here. I have my rest in a good spot, 28 inches, so 27 and a half would be a little, so I'm going to start long. You're going to want to start long. I think we should start at 28 and a half just to be safe. So for me, and for you as well, start with your arrow length an inch longer than your draw length when you're cutting these aluminums. So take one arrow, take your time, cut it on the same saw, and then once you find the arrow length you like, cut all of your arrows. So do your testing with one arrow when it comes to node stuff. So 28 and a half, it's probably won't be too long, but I think it'll be worth it. Now, when it comes to torque tuning, I think that torque tuning, it can change a little bit depending on your arrow's length, but I don't think it's that big of a difference. So I haven't done this intensive of a test before, so we will find out and see. Let's go ahead and cut these arrows to 28 and a half inches.